So my name is Monty Jabbar Purify, and I was born in a little small town in Oklahoma called Seminole, Oklahoma, settled by the Seminole Indians. And I want to tell you a story, and not just tell you a story. This story has purpose, purpose in respect to the devastation and destruction and disconnection and separation, and more specifically, the divorce that's in our communities. I am divorced. I've been married once, and my wife at the time we divorced, and we have two beautiful daughters that we have raised as a non-custodial and custodial parent for the past, 15 years or more. But why did we get a divorce is the question. That's what this is really all about. Why did we get a divorce? Why did two people that met in college in the 90s and moved to Orlando, Florida from Kansas, and had a successful business in Orlando, and careers and friends and a life, why did we get a divorce? Well, I can tell you. It has a lot to do with me, Monty Jabbar Purify, and my DNA and my makeup of my character and who I am and how I see life and how I respond to all that's around me. And that's what this video is really all about. And it's not we won't accomplish everything tonight, that's for sure. We're going to dive deep into why did we get a divorce? Why is there so much separation and divorce in our communities this very day? Why are so many kids growing up in a fatherless society or community, where their father may live on the other side of the world, or the father doesn't want to have anything to do with his children and his and their mother? And that must stop. I can speak to it as an expert because I have served, and I still serve as a mentor and serve on boards for fatherless youth, specifically young men. I've mentored on the elementary level, on the middle school level, high school level, and the collegiate level as well. And I've taken a close look, and the reason why I dove into mentoring is because I wanted to better understand why I was headed for a divorce at that time. And I wanted to better understand myself. Where did this all begin? Where did the destruction of the marriage really begin? We're gonna talk about that, and that's what this is all about. And I want to say this: I don't have any regrets, zero, in my life at all. Period. None. Zilch. Everything that I've ever done in my life, I've done on free will, and that's what I wanted to do. However, there's a consequence for the things that we want to do, and I've paid that consequence. I've paid that price. I'm paying that price. And that's why this is really important for me to begin to open up and share my testimony for not only for the next generation, but more specifically, I have 3 nephews. I have 2 daughters. I have a lot of cousins that are back in Oklahoma that that subscribe as well or follow me. And it's time to talk about this. And I've been blessed beyond measure, hands down. My life is amazing. If I do not wake up tomorrow, I will go to the gates of heaven with a smile on my face, because I have lived a full life. It's just amazing all the things that I've been able to do and been afforded to do, whether go to college, reinvent myself at several different colleges, and live an amazing lives, have 2 beautiful daughters, have a marriage, and and love, and the whole wedding ceremony. I've done it all, in my opinion. However, I'm still here, and I have to begin to give back right now. So with that said, I want to go back a little ways. I want to start talking about about my DNA. What is my DNA? My meaning me as a man. I was an athlete. I was a kid that loved to go outside and play and hunt, fish, you name it. Play football, basketball, baseball. I played anything competitively. I was skilled, you know what I mean, as far as my athleticism and strength, and as well as mentally. So when I can think back clearly to kindergarten, it was all about being fast. I was fast. And when I've mentored on the elementary level, and we did some surveys, I had a small group of fifth graders do a survey. They got the survey. I did it on two phones, little small phones, and they surveyed their peers. And what they discovered about themselves is that the word fast was the most common adjective to describe these 5 young men. But what does fast mean in elementary? Well, it means accepted. That's what it means. They were accepted because they were superior athletically. They were fast. And in kindergarten and elementary, I was fast. I was faster than the average. So I was accepted. And that acceptance brings admiration and respect. And I believe it was from that point that began to shape my perspective, my attitude towards the opposite sex. Girls that admired a guy that was fast, that had all the blue ribbons, pinned up on his chest, because he was fast. He won the 50-yard dash. He won the sack race. He won the relays. He was fast. And it's still admired to this very day, being fast. What is the most popular event at the Olympics? It's the 100 meters. Hands down. That is it is the fastest. I mean, you're only going to see it for 9 seconds, but 9 or 10 seconds. But those 9 or 10 seconds, it's just the most amazing event in the world to watch. It's just amazing. And whoever wins it, we marvel. We admire that person for being so fast. And we accept that person regardless of how fast that person can read, if that person can add, or anything else. We accept that person. And that admiration fuels a desire that's inside of a man that I don't know we can measure that type of desire. For me, it's always been that way. Always been that way. When I say always, I mean always been that way. Not only was I fast, through elementary, I also picked up the skill to play the cello, and then I was a first chair cellist. So, so that kind of helped out things as well. And being in the first chair and being in the all city, going to the all city orchestra and being a first, this was these accolades began to fuel a desire for me, because I was so accepted, and it was so easy for me to be accepted. And in middle school is a whole nother ball game. 6th grade, Capitol Hill Middle School in Oklahoma City, where it was predominantly black and Hispanics. But man, just being accepted at that level, at a very, very large middle school, uh, does wonders. And then when a girl likes you, I don't know, man. It's just it's hard to put into words how it alters your ego. So that was, in middle school, 6th grade. And then for me, during the summers, and we're talking the middle school years, I would go and stay with my father because my mom and dad are divorced. But I would always go and stay with my father and my family in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, during the summers. And I have a stepbrother and a half brother that I would always be around. But my stepbrother, who was 1 year older than me, we would go out into the neighborhood and have fun, and it was just amazing. But I was the new face on the block. Every summer I was the new face because they kind of moved every year. So anyway, I was always the new face, either at the swimming pool or at the recreation facility or wherever. And it just kept going. And there's nothing like being the new face on the block. So the acceptance just continued to pile up, and the favor or the how girls like me continue to pile up. Listen, there's no excuses. I have no excuses for poor character. But what I'm saying is that it became too much, too early, too soon, and not knowing how to manage relationships with the opposite sex. We're talking middle school right now. I'm only in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 7th grade right now. And it's already piling up where, the idea of having, or not even the idea, or just having multiple options and not being able to say no to any of them. You just say yes to all of them. Why? Because it's opportunity. So you become I think it develops into an opportunist. I became an opportunist down the line as we continue to develop this story. Again, we're only in middle school, and we're talking, when I was in Oklahoma City, I at Capitol Hill Middle School in the 6th grade, and then I went out to Jackson Middle School in the 7th grade. It got crazy. It really did. Not only did it get crazy, I was also in Oklahoma City. There's a football league or team called the Northeast Optimist T-Birds, or the NEO T-Birds, better known as the T-Birds. We were blue and white, and we were the most dominant football program in Oklahoma City. Period. Hands down. Lost 0. Well, we did lose one game in All City Championship, and it was against a bunch of white guys, man, that could get it done, and we lost it. And you want to see a bunch of black folks, mamas and daddies teared up, kids teared up, man. I'm talking about we could not stop. They were called Mustang. It was a town called Mustang. Couldn't beat them, and that was hard. That was our only loss. But other than that, we were the most dominant program in Oklahoma City. But being a part of that, let me just say this: in middle school, people knew about, man, if you played for the T-Birds, man, come on. I mean, step back, sit down, get out of here. Only the best could play for the T-Birds, period. We just ran over teams. So you add all that up, plus I was playing in the band, so I was a percussionist. I dropped orchestra and I went in and started, became a percussionist, and I was pretty good at that as well. And I started wrestling. So, a lot going on, but the appeal to girls was just rising. And then let me say this, and then we're talking 7th grade right now, 6th, 7th grade. Then I find Jesus. Hold up. I find Jesus. But where did I find Jesus? In Oklahoma City, at a church called South Lindsay Baptist Church. Now, South Lindsay is a street in Oklahoma City, and that's the name of the church, South Lindsay Baptist Church. South Lindsay was known for its men's sports. The men's softball team at South Lindsay won the World Baptist Championship. These guys were phenomenal. The men that went to this church, South Lindsay had the largest youth ministry in the state of Oklahoma at one point in time. So it had a family life center where we could go there on Wednesday nights and play basketball, racquetball, all kinds of stuff. Amazing, right? So now you got some inner city youth that could go to South Lindsay Baptist Church and play on their youth basketball team. And my buddy Gary Smith was the bomb on our basketball team. There's no doubt about it. But we dominated teams. I mean, just dominated teams. That's what the church was all about. It was built on domination, sports-wise. So now I'm in that clique, right? And when we went to church camp, it's called Falls Creek in Davis, Oklahoma. Falls Creek. It's the largest church camp in America. And churches all over Oklahoma would have their own camp or cabins there and all kinds of stuff. And it's really cool, and very blessed to be able to go to Falls Creek for, 3-4 years in a row during the summer. But when South Lindsay went to Falls Creek, there was always obviously competitive sports there, softball, but all kinds of stuff. And we meant business. So being around that was just amazing, and being in a dominant environment was just amazing. And again, the appeal or the admiration from girls was there. It just simply was there. Even at a church camp, guys and girls were simply mixing. They were definitely, yes, we were praising the Lord, but when we had a little free time, we were going to take some walks. Now, I was only in middle school, but I seen the high schoolers, okay? And I knew what they were doing as well. And I wanted in. At that point, I wanted in. That's when I knew that I wanted in. What do I mean by wanted in? Well, you got to tune in tomorrow, and I'll let you know. This is going to be a chapter. These are going to be some chapters. This is going to get really, really good. So you might want to get your popcorn ready, because this is going to get really, really good. We're only in middle school right now. Got a long ways to go. But we're going to talk about the destruction of the marriage of a man and a woman. And I'm going to let you in on it. All right? So anyway, there's only one way to do life, and that's all the way, or the full Monty. I'll catch up with you guys later.